Hello, this is vlog number 10, and today we will be talking about chapter 8 about challenges arising from the audience. So, um, two mistakes that writers make when um, beginning their beginning their pieces is that they assume that most of the audiences are like themselves. Um, so by that I mean that they have similar experiences, values, religious views, political preferences, and similar life goals. And so that's one of the mistakes that they make. And then the second one that was shown in the reading was that um, they transform their audiences into monsters that are eager to fight their claim and their message when they're just willing to listen to your ideas, and um, they're just demonizing them, and that's not a good thing to do. And it also encourages how they should encourage the audience to participate in creating the rhetorical act. Um, and then they also mentioned that the audience naturally resists to persuasion. So if you're creating your audience, they must not only have the power to act, but they must feel the power. So by that I mean they should be able to notice your purpose and your claim, and they should be clear from the beginning to the end. And you must also be a trustworthy source to be able to express your claim and for your audience to believe you. So this chapter also goes on to talk about inattention, and it helps you strategize on how not to lose your audience by structuring your work in a way where the topic and the evidence is satisfying their needs of information, and it also advises you to show some challenging viewpoints just to rebuttal your own ideas and your own claims. And it also allows the audience to not only believe you more, but to also take into consideration opposing views to what you're saying too. And it gives them also like a broader mind, and it allows them to develop their own opinion, not only based on what you're saying, but on what you presented them on like different points of views. And then this chapter also goes on to talking about misinterpretations and misperceptions, and how the basis, or like how this topic is not really avoided. It's just saying how this it's a mystery on how this, like, the basis of this ability, but it still tells you that in order to avoid misinterpretation, that it advises you to have a good attitude that can influence and perceive how we interpret your work. And I found that really interesting, how there's not really a specific way how you can avoid misinterpretation of your claim, but it tells you how all these other aspects of that you're using can help you avoid that as much as possible. And then it goes on to talking about attitude, which also has a little bit to do with misinterpretation and misperceptions, because it says that attitude is a concept developed by researchers to describe some of the mental processes and behaviors of human beings. I found that a little bit interesting, and how they just emphasize, or they clarify, how attitudes are pretty much just likes and dislikes, and it also shows how attitude demonstrates how ready you are, how mentally ready. This chapter just tells you different things that the audience can think while reading your work, and how careful you have to be of what you say, how you structure it, and how you portray yourself to the audience. And now I know how to address my audience a little bit more. I know how to not choose my audience, but how to persuade a specific type of audience. And I don't know, I just found this chapter really interesting, and I really like the ideas that, or just, I learned a lot from this, and I really enjoyed reading this chapter. Thank you.